Your home is almost certainly not too small. There's a wardrobe's worth of space in your bedroom right now that nobody in the house is using. Go and look under your bed. The floor area under a standard double bed is roughly the same as a small wardrobe. You are already paying for that space every single month, in rent or in mortgage, and in most homes it is holding nothing at all, or 4 or 5 things that nobody could name without looking. Put flat boxes under there, off-season clothes, spare bedding, suitcases, wrapping paper. Anything you need a few times a year and never in a given week. You just got a wardrobe back and it cost you 20 minutes. That's one of 10 ideas in this video, and it isn't the biggest one. None of the other 9 ask you to buy storage either. 2 of them will have you getting rid of storage you already own. I'm Ingrid. I grew up just outside Gothenburg in about 60 square meters with 4 of us in it, and my mother ran that flat without ever once, in my whole memory, buying a storage box. Here's what we're doing. The door, the bed, the fold, the wall, the drawer, the shape, the second job, the system, the riser, and number 1, which isn't an object at all, and which every one of the other 9 quietly falls apart without. Most of them are free. 6 of them you can do tonight. One thing before we start. The Nordic habits I cover on this channel, there's far too much of it to fit into any single video. So I've put the whole of it in one place. 150 of them, sorted by room and by rhythm. It's on my site, link right under this video. I won't bring it up again. If you want it, you know where it is. Let's start at the door, because that's where it starts. Number 10. The door. Here's what happens in most homes. You come in with shopping in one hand and your phone in the other. The coat goes over the banister. The shoes get kicked into a pile. The bag goes down just for a second. And now the mess is inside. Hallway, then living room, then the kitchen counter by Thursday. We stop it at the threshold, and there is nothing clever about how. Hooks at adult height. A second row lower for children. A bench with shoes underneath. One shallow tray for wet boots. That's the whole thing. What it replaces is every storage unit you will ever buy for your living room to hold things that should never have got past the hall. Your test tonight. Stand at your front door holding a coat, a bag, and a pair of wet shoes. Can you put all 3 away without walking further into the house? If you can't, that's your problem, and it's 4 square meters from where you're standing. And the next one is somewhere you've already been today and didn't look at. Number 9. Under the bed. This is the one I opened with, so I'll give you the part I left out. The container matters more than people think. Beds with drawers built into the base are best, but low platforms with crates on casters work, and so do flat fabric boxes as long as they slide out fully. That last part is the whole trick. If the box only pulls halfway, the back third becomes a place things go to disappear, and within a year it's storing nothing but its own contents. That replaces the extra wardrobe most people eventually buy and then have to find floor space for. A wardrobe costs a few hundred and takes a square meter off your bedroom. This costs the price of 2 boxes and takes nothing. Your test tonight. Take 1 drawer's worth of winter jumpers out of your wardrobe, put them under the bed, then open the wardrobe you actually use every morning and see what happened to it. Number 8. The fold. Stop stacking your clothes in piles. Fold each thing into a compact rectangle and stand it upright in the drawer, like books on a shelf. T-shirts, jeans, towels, socks, all of it standing. And this is where I lose people, so stay with me for 30 seconds. What changes is that you open the drawer and see everything at once. No digging, no lifting 3 jumpers off a pile to reach the 4th, and because each item stands on its own, taking one out doesn't disturb the rest, which is the actual reason folded drawers go back to chaos within a week. There's a second thing people don't expect. It usually fits more in the same drawer than stacking does because it finally uses the depth. Your test tonight. 1 drawer, 15 minutes. Ask yourself when you last found a shirt you'd forgotten you owned. Number 7. The wall. Look at your walls. They're doing nothing. Walk into a kitchen here and you'll see a metal rail along the backsplash. Utensils, mugs, small baskets, all hanging. The wooden peg rail turns up in hallways, bathrooms, children's rooms. It's been in Nordic houses for 200 years and it isn't decorative. Here's the honest truth, and I respect you too much to dress it up. This doesn't work because it holds more. It works because it clears your counters. And a clear horizontal surface is what makes a small room read as calm, even when the actual storage volume hasn't changed at all. Your test tonight. Photograph your kitchen counter right now. Count how many things on it could be hanging instead. Most people find 6 or 7. Number 6. The drawer. This one is small, and it's the one people skip, which is exactly why it's this high. Instead of one big compartment holding socks, cables, keys, batteries, and whatever else, split it. Cheap plastic organizers, small boxes, reused containers. It genuinely does not matter what you use. Here's the mechanism, because it's the whole principle of this video in miniature. A good system shouldn't demand willpower every day. It should make the correct choice the easiest one. When every item has an obvious slot, putting it back is automatic. When it doesn't, every single item becomes a small decision, and you will dodge that decision every time. Not sometimes, every time. Your test tonight. 1 drawer, 4 dividers, 10 minutes. Number 5. The shape. Now look at the shape of your storage, because I think most people buy this wrong. The instinct is to buy wide. Wide chest of drawers, wide sideboard, wide cabinet. We go the other way, tall and narrow. Floor space is what makes a room feel open. Height costs you almost nothing in perceived space. A cabinet 20 centimeters wide and 2 meters tall holds a startling amount and takes up floor you were never going to walk on. There's a Swedish word for the target you're aiming at here. Lagom. It means the right amount. Not too much, not too little. Not minimalism, which is a look and usually an expensive one. Just, is this the right amount of it? Your test tonight. Measure the gap beside your fridge. Measure the strip between a doorway and the corner. Most homes have 2 or 3 of these, and they're all sized for something nobody thought to buy. Now, before we go further, I want you to notice something, because every idea so far has been doing the same thing, and I haven't said it out loud yet. The door, the bed, the fold, the wall, the drawer, the shape. Every one of them moves storage upward, or backward, or out of sight, and every one of them makes putting a thing away a shorter journey than not putting it away. That's the whole pattern. It was never about owning less. It's about the distance between where a thing gets used and where it lives. Shorten that distance, and the mess stops forming on its own. Keep that in mind, because the last 4 are all built on it. Quick pause before we get to them. Everything in this video is section 1 of the guide. There are 9 sections, and the one people actually write to me about is the 3rd, on letting things go. It's linked below. Number 4. The second job. In a small Nordic flat, almost nothing has one purpose. The hallway bench lifts up and holds shoes. The ottoman opens and holds blankets. The coffee table has a compartment. The dining table extends for guests and shrinks back for a Tuesday. Side tables nest into one footprint when they're not needed. The logic is blunt. If a piece of furniture takes floor space, it should earn that space more than once. What that replaces is the additional storage unit you'd otherwise buy, and then need somewhere to put. Your test tonight. Walk your living room and ask of every single item, what is this doing besides existing? Anything that answers nothing is a candidate. Number 3. The system. This one is a warning as much as an idea. Most people buy storage boxes the way they buy everything else, one at a time, whenever the need appears. 3 years later, the cupboard is a jumble of mismatched baskets and tubs that don't stack and don't fit. Here's the trap. Every one of those boxes was a sensible purchase on its own. Together, they're a mess. Buy into one system and stay in it. Same size, same material, same color. They stack, they fit standard shelf depths, and they reconfigure when your needs change. And the part that surprises people, matching containers make a full shelf look ordered. Straight lines and repeated shapes read as calm to the eye, even when everything behind them is chaos. Then label them. If only you know the system, it isn't a system, it's a habit that dies the moment you're not the one tidying. Number 2. The wasted air. This isn't a product, it's a realization. Open any kitchen cupboard and look at the space above your stacked plates. 20 centimeters of nothing, doing nothing, because a stack can only go so high before it becomes annoying to use. A shelf riser is a second floor inside the cupboard. Plates below, bowls above. One cupboard becomes 2. Same idea sideways. A file holder, the office kind, for documents, stood inside a cabinet turns chopping boards, baking trays, and pot lids into vertical files. Each slides out on its own. You never lift a heavy stack to reach the thing underneath. Do it in the freezer too. Stand the bags upright in bins instead of laying them flat. Every label faces you, and you stop buying things you already have. Here's the quiet truth. Most people look into a cupboard, decide it's full, and go and buy more storage. It wasn't full. It was badly divided. Number 1. One in, one out. I saved this for last on purpose, and I'll be straight with you. It's the dullest thing on this list. When something new comes into the house, something similar leaves. A new jumper, an old one goes. A new pan, an old pan goes. There's a Swedish word attached to the wider version of this. Dostadning, and I'm going to butcher it slightly. It means clearing things gradually across your life so nobody else has to do it for you later. Most people meet it as a decluttering trend. It isn't one. It's just the long form of this habit. Here's why it's number 1. Every other idea in this video eventually fails without it. All 9 of them are containers, and containers fill. You can build the most beautiful system in Scandinavia, and in 4 years it will be groaning, because the volume of your belongings creeps up quietly, and nothing else on this list stops it. I won't inflate it for you. It isn't exciting, and it doesn't photograph well. Nobody makes a thumbnail out of it. The other 9 buy you space. This one keeps it. Now I want to say something about why nobody taught you any of this. Because it isn't an accident, and it isn't a failure of discipline on your part. There is an entire industry built around home storage, and its product is containers. Not decisions. Containers. And a container, most of the time, is a way of postponing a decision you haven't made yet. That's what makes it so appealing at 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and that's why the boxes on your shelf are full of things you still can't name. Nobody runs an advertising campaign telling you to own less. There's no margin in an empty shelf. So the shop is arranged so that the answer to my house feels cluttered is always something you can carry to a till. It isn't a conspiracy. It's just where the money is. But it does mean that the one idea that actually works, the boring one, number 1, is the only one nobody will ever advertise to you. You don't have to keep buying boxes. You never did. So here's what I want you to do this week. Not the house. Don't reorganize the house. That never holds, and you already know it doesn't. One drawer. Pick one. Divide it or empty it, whichever it needs. That's it. Next week, 1 more. And tell me 2 things below. Which room would you close the door on if someone turned up unannounced? Be honest. And what's the one thing in your house you've walked past so many times you genuinely stopped seeing it? I read every one of these. Half of what I know now came out of that comment section. Next time I'm taking number 7, the clear surfaces, because that's the real reason a Nordic home is quick to clean, and there are 9 cleaning habits that go with it. That one's next week. Until then, don't buy any storage. Go and look under your bed first. Och som alltid. Vi ses nästa gång.